All right, well, thanks for coming back. We mentioned earlier in the video when Ryan and I were talking that we kind of talked about our experience here with Seymour and how awesome it's been. Excited to introduce you guys to Jack, who's the owner of Seymour.
One of them.
One of the owners, yeah.
Yep.
And so I told earlier how we met,
Sure.
Which was at our Veterans Day event 2023, because we didn't have 2024 because of the hurricane.
Yep.
And how you were there at the event. I'm putting words in your mouth, but I think you had a good time.
Yeah. Oh, it was a great time.
Good event, and then you kind of just introduced us to you.
Yeah.
And to eventually to Tune and so many other places, which was really, really cool. And so we actually have a trip that is going to launch here, the MABDR, with Mind Overland today, actually. And so we've got folks coming in this evening, and you've been gracious enough to offer up some land for camping, and you're going to give everybody an awesome barbecue tonight. So we, again, really appreciate that and appreciate everything you've done for the organization. Seymour has been a longtime sponsor of Mind Overland as well, so we're very appreciative of all that support from you and the family. But so if you don't mind, just take a few minutes, kind of introduce yourself, introduce Seymour.
Sure.
We did tell them that you're a Marine. So, you know,
nobody's perfect.
We'll let the comment section go too on that. But yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Seymour.
So, my sister and I are third generation owner and operators here at the business. My grandparents started it in '63.
Wow.
And this was so they actually used to work up at Pax River. They were contractors up there.
Yeah.
And retired from there. They had an appliance business. Moved back to the area after that. So this was a retirement gig.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
cow.
The very first Jayco pop-up campers and that type of thing, you know, and the gas crunch hit. And then when I say retirement gig, there was literally a sign that said, you know, honk for service kind of thing, right? It was awesome.
That's great, yeah.
So, but then gas crunch and everything else, you know, throughout 70s, in the 80s, Dad and Aunt decided to incorporate. And they wanted to keep the business going, but they wanted to, they wanted to kind of transition from what it was, right? So, vehicle accessories became a real big thing.
Yeah.
You know, there was the van scene then, and then Jeeps, truck accessories, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Fiberglass was making its way into the industry.
Okay.
So, transitioned away from camper sales and that type of thing to a full-blown legit business.
Yeah.
So, rolled heavy through the 80s, 90s, obviously to where we are right now. In January of 22, we lost our aunt. And November of 23, we lost our dad.
Wow.
There was no question as to whether we were going to continue, you know, what they had started. So outside of the Marine Corps and a transitional period, this is, you know, what I've done my entire life. You know? So my dad came to visit while we were living in Georgia. Mom and Dad came down. It was for one of the kids' birthdays, and family business always gets brought up.
Yeah,
right?
sure. Yeah.
And I asked him, you know, how's things going at the shop? You know, how are you? And he said, well, it's good. I'm looking for somebody that can do what I can do.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's not a lot of those around. You know, there's no real SOP for this. There's no manual. There's nothing that goes along with it, right? Wife was working. My wife was working down there as a contractor at that point in time. And one day, I got a phone call at work, and she said, "Jack, you know, it's kind of a pivotal moment. I'm not liking the route that things are going down here. New companies getting ready to buy, you know, in this contract. And was your dad being serious?" I was like, my dad normally doesn't say things unless he means them.
Yeah, he is serious,
So that was May 28th. June 16th, I was back up here.
Holy cow.
It was quick, man. I mean, I'm talking.
Holy cow, that is fast.
Yeah, the kids and I, daughter and 2 sons, we came up here first and kind of brought a fair amount of the stuff up, and then few weeks later, went back down while she was getting everything listed with the house and all that stuff, and packed out, and was back up here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, here we are now.
And now, does your sister stay in the area pretty much the whole time, or does she come back too, or she always?
No, sister's been here the entire time.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, that's so cool.
It's cool, man. But we wanted to. I sat down and had a conversation with my dad, and I said, I want to bring me to Seymour, not me as a person, but me as, my portion of the pie.
Yeah.
Like, what does that entail? And, that's when overlanding became overlanding.
Yeah,
right?
we talked about that earlier.
It's kind of odd, when a term becomes coined for something, right, and gets an official name, then the toys get a lot cooler, a lot more expensive.
Yeah. Well, now you have tax write-offs.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So I've got 4 other TRXs out back, right? No. But it makes it nice though, man. So that was the conversation was had, and it was like, okay, well, how does it not branch too far away from what Seymour is, and our core values and that kind of stuff, but we can still justify it being in here. So we started out building some small off-road trailers. And we got a Smitty-built Scout trailer in here. One of our distributors carried him, and I was like, man, this is too crazy not to pass up. Dad was like, all right, give it a shot, and he's calling the shots. I'm just an employee. Like, that's that, right? So I said, all right, get one in here. So I got it in, I got a tent through on it, and we had our county fair here. It's a pretty large fair, normally 100,000 or so in attendance.
Wow,
so
great.
We sat up, and he was like, this is make or break, right? Let's see what happens. And it drew a huge crowd, because here in the Valley, it's a time capsule, man. Like, you can't force stuff on people. You got to be ready. So everybody was, what's this, what's that? And it drew a big crowd. Didn't sell any of them, right? Till the last day. As my dad was busting my chops, right? He was like, it's great, you talked to a lot of people. How many of them just sell? A gentleman who will remain unnamed walked up and he said, that's exactly what I've been looking for. And I'm like, well, that's cool, I'll sell it to you. And my dad's sitting there laughing because he was just busting my chops about how many of them you sell, And he's rolling in the chair. And he told the guy, he's like, I'm not laughing at you, I was just giving him a hard time about this. And it went from, my dad watched the conversation unravel, right? And it went from a base unit with a tent on it to, what do you want in it? And he goes, I'm being serious. Like, I'll leave you a deposit right now. And I said, okay, well, what do you want? And he goes, well, I want a dual battery bank. I need a solid switch stick. I need exterior lighting. I need spot for my generator. I need a tent. I need a hot water heater. And I need some sort of electric fridge.
And your dad's like, oh, wait a minute.
And Dad's like, oh, yeah, what's going on here? And he goes, do you know people that can do that? I was like, yeah, we can do that. So it went from
because of the background that you guys had.
Exactly. So that was where we dipped our toes in the water. And then I got on to, our campermans, Alucab and Tune. I wanted, and this is not to downplay any other product on the market. If you're buying something that does what you want it to do and it works, there's nothing wrong with that. I wanted, in my opinion, what was the cream of the crop when it came to off-grid setups for your trucks. And that was Alucab and Tune. And that was it. The only reason I even put them in that order, I mean, they're tit for tat, but there's a variance. But I had Alucab first. And then we're lucky enough to meet the folks at Tune. And great relationships both ways, man. So,
well, and Ryan and I were talking a little bit about that earlier. I don't know that I've necessarily ever had a bad setup. Right. In all the iterations that we've done, a lot of it's just what fits you, whoever you're traveling with, and your whatever creature comforts you want at that time. And those sometimes morph, and sometimes I've even gone to the point of, sometimes I've thought, shoot, maybe I should just go back to a tent. Now I'm not going to do that, right? Because I was Air Force and I would never do a tent. But in theory, it's at least a thought process. So I mean, great products. I honestly didn't realize that you guys carried as much as you do. I mean, the shop, and we'll do a walk around the shop a little bit later, but I mean, you guys have pretty much got it all. I mean, somebody could come in here and get a complete setup if they wanted to in here.
that's one of the things is, you know, if you try to get great at too many things, something always you know slacks off in a certain area. And you know, we do a lot of stuff. We are an authorized service center for 90% of your mainstream campers.
Yeah.
You know, your fifth wheels, goosenecks, Class A's, Class B's, C's. We are a state inspection station for trailers. We work on trailers. We sell open and enclosed trailers. You know, the overlanding side was just a drop in the bucket to what we had done, but we perfected our craft with the products that we sold and installed here and believed in, and then we're lucky and blessed enough to partner up with manufacturers and companies that make an amazing product.
Too.
They do, man. They do.
Well, I think that's probably too. You guys are picky on who you bring on board because of that, right? Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that Ryan and I talked about earlier was, and you know, this probably goes back to the first generation of doing this, is just the hospitality. Like walking in here, man, like everybody was just so welcoming.
We beat our employees if they don't say hi.
You do,
that's coming in.
I mean, that sounds like a Marine Corps way.
You know? There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah,
you will be nice, or we'll beat it into you.
And you will smile even when you're crying. No,
I did wonder why she ran to the bathroom after she said it.
It's a normal occurrence.
No, I mean, it's just everybody's so nice, and we were sharing about the waiting area, and the Wi-Fi is fantastic. So if you got to come here to get some work done, like you can. You know, on your vehicle, you can also get some work done while you're getting the work done. So yeah, it's awesome.
There were a lot of things that happened when, give you a little bit of a funny. You guys work on the IT side, you know, software and all that fun stuff. This business was ran off of a DOS program up until 2019. We went live in 2020.
Oh my God.
On new programming. I mean, it was, but that's the way it was.
Yeah.
It's the way it was always done.
And it's the way it worked for them.
They did. I cannot take, my sister and I cannot take much, if any, credit for the things that you see here today, outside of, you know, this, and then obviously talking to people, man. But I mean, our parents, our family, they weren't afraid of work, and they did what they said.
Yeah.
They said what they did.
Yeah.
You know, and that was that. So, we just want to keep
But you
going
know,
with it.
I think it's one of the things that I admire is, you know, a lot of times you see businesses that are passed down generation to generation, and they lose something at every step. Obviously didn't know, you know, your dad and your aunt, or even your grandparents, but you know, I would imagine they would be proud, man, to walk in and see like the way that people are treated. Like Ryan and I have been here for a while, and just see everybody that's walked in. They've just been so hospitable and welcoming, and I imagine they'd be pleased with that, man.
Yeah. I would agree.
Yeah, good.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Well, tell us how you got. You know, we did a video on Tune specifically of why Ryan and I chose to go from the Project M to the Tune. Tell us kind of how you got involved with Tune and how that worked out.
So that is, I don't want to say I don't believe in coincidences, but you know, if so many things. I mean, I go on kind of like this 3-thing rule, right? Like if this happens and this happens and this happens,
then it is.
Then it is. It is. You know, and you're going to figure out how to get in line with it right then. So, Overland Expo East. We were going around, and I was, you know, I was looking at everything because it's easier to sell if you've got 2 products with enough of a variance to where one makes more sense for one person and the other makes more sense for that person, right? So we were deeply invested in finding the next best thing that was comparable to what we were already doing. And we ran across Tune, and it was, once again, it was that same thing. It wasn't one of those, hey man, I'm busy, I'll have to get with you this. It's, hey, how are you? You know, and immediately engaging in conversation. And it was a great great product. I mean, I kind of nerded out over it because I'm looking at it and I'm like,
Yeah.
man, this isn't. It's not
Yeah.
chintzy stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know, the materials they were using and how it happened, and then we kind of started getting into the weeds about, you know, tune being a COVID baby.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
So, you know, I had a lot of fun with it, but I didn't pursue it right then and there. And we got back from Expo. My sister was dropping one of her kids off at daycare, and she heard a lady yelling for her in the parking lot, like after she dropped the kid, and she stopped and she was like, hey, you know, you're so-and-so's mom. And she goes, yeah. She goes, you're at Seymour. And she goes, yeah. And she goes, are you guys going to sell tunes? I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, all right, this is number 2, right? I'm like, all right, what's going on right now? Because I hadn't shot any emails to corporate. I don't even think we exchanged information that day with the guys that were at the booth, right? And I'm like, all right, well, this is number 2.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst at that point in time. So Maud comes back and she's talking with me about it. And as we are talking, I get a phone call from Sean. And I'm like, all right, yeah, what's going on, right? So we get down this rabbit hole, and man, right out of the gate, jumped on a Zoom call, started talking about everything. We started talking about, you know, the background of the company, the people that were in it, you know, the experiences that they've had, what they've come from, and why they decided to do what they wanted to do. And the crazy thing that really caught my eye is Sean was very, very specific, referring to Sean Kepler at Tune. Sean was very, very specific on, we never marketed this or never intended to market this as an overland camper, right? This is for the outdoors person, right? This is for the person that if you want to go camping, cool, go camping. If you want to go four-wheeling, get there. If you want to go fly fishing all across the country, do it, right? But it was hospitable. You know, it's a fair bit larger than most any other camper on the market right now. The sleeping platform is massive, right? That was December time frame by the time we tagged up, because they were finishing out their fourth quarter. We were kind of in the same mix, and end of the year, if I'm not mistaken, it was before start of the new year. We had went down and we were going to be their first affiliate. We'd agreed to everything. I mean, everything looked awesome, and there's, you know, a lot of details I can't really get into on there, but for lack of better words, it made sense for everybody, and it reminded me how business was done when I was a kid. You know, when I would go to trade shows and stuff with my parents. I mean, it was handshake stuff. It was, you know, deals done over a freaking drink napkin at a table. You know, and it was like that. And these people, everybody on their team, from, you know, the ladies and guys in the sales department to the engineering side, marketing, production guys and gals, like everybody there was happy to be there. Like, that was December. I was in Denver in March for the TRX install. And I was worried, man. I knew, like, my personal truck had an IU cab on it, right? And I knew we were going on this. I didn't want to modify anything on the truck. I didn't want to change any suspension up. This is bone stock suspension on the TRX, right? And I was just mind blown. And then, of course, once again, I got to nerd out with Christian and Sam and everybody else there about the build process and how they do their FRP and the profiles and how the stuff was designed. And man, it blossomed. And the crazy thing was, I thought it was going to take time to gain traction. I knew AluCab was going to take time to gain traction. We were the only affiliate for Tune. Like, not like in Virginia or on the East Coast, like in the country.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Like,
Holy cow,
we were their first affiliate, man. And it's been just a back and forth. We bounce stuff off of each other. They're a manufacturer that has a relationship. You guys know the process, right?
We talked about that on the video.
With them, right? You have a relationship with us. I believe that's extremely important. Whether you're buying a, you know, $2,000 product or a $20,000 product, you know that you not only have the backing of the factory, but an install facility like us is an affiliate with them.
So, we talked a little bit about that previously, about how, you know, with the experience of buying the Tune, it was like, you know, we got called. They wanted to know, what's your use case? Like, why are you going this route versus this route? And they talked us in stuff, and they quite frankly, talked us out of stuff.
Sure.
Like, this may not be the best case for you.
Sure.
And between Ryan and I, we've run a lot of different setups.
Sure.
Especially Ryan. Like, I don't have enough fingers and toes for the amount that he's run. But if you add on my couple on there,
Yep.
I've never had another manufacturer like call and want to walk you through, like,
Yep.
what do you want? What do you need? And
Yep.
you know, usually it's well, you need this and you need that, even
Yeah.
if they will call.
Yep.
And it's just an upsell. But with like Tune, we referenced that they really did talk us out of some stuff.
Yep.
And into other stuff that we hadn't considered
Yeah.
previously.
Yep.
And I think that goes back to what you were saying, and you know, even what you guys have built here at Seymour and what Sean and the team have built there.
Yep.
At Tune. It really just feels like it's kind of sounds cliche, but they actually care
Oh, yeah.
about
Yep.
about what you're buying, and that their stamp is going to be on the side of that. You
Yeah.
know, that you're going to be repping that.
100%.
It was funny when Ryan and I were on the trip that we referenced earlier, taken out west this summer. Every time we'd pass a Tune, oh, there's
Yeah.
there
There
goes a
goes.
Tune.
There
There goes a
goes.
Tune. You know,
Yep.
and we even I think Ryan saw one in the parking lot when we split off for a while, and he went and talked to the guy that had the Tune. So
Yep.
it's cool. It has been cool. We referenced how we were originally between the Project M and the Tune, and Tune was just really young, and
Sure.
You guys weren't dealers
Yeah.
then, because we bought the Project M's in November of 23, which
Sure.
would have been right before you guys did that. But it has been awesome now to see that like even the Tune M1 owners group in
Yeah.
Facebook is
Yep.
just like blowing up, and it's
Yep.
really cool to see them blossom, and
Oh, yeah.
we're excited to be a part of this. And thank you for getting
Oh,
Ryan
100%.
in on Ryan and I in
100%.
on one.
I
So,
didn't get a chance to thank you guys.
yeah. Oh no, you're good.
This was it was a blessing in disguise. That entire expo where we met, and then obviously meeting Tune and all of that stuff, man, it was just a my apologies,
Oh, you're good,
guys.
man. You're good.
There are unfortunate scenarios where places I think, or organizations, have an idea when it comes to you know, getting in with the veteran community, helping the
Yeah.
veteran community, and you guys, man, since day one, it has been you can't really compare it to anything. It's been the closest thing to being
Yeah.
back in the military
Yeah.
that you will ever have.
Yeah.
And that speaks volumes to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of folks will never understand that,
No.
because of different life paths, and there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. But our personal, you know, thank you to you guys for
Yeah, thank you,
letting us be a part of Mind Overland.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
it's a
that-
great
that
organization.
feeling is
So,
mutual, very
yeah.
mutual. It's always fun to go on trips and then to be with folks, and you know, you obviously are, but to be with other organizations who may not have a vet that are a part of that,
Yep.
and have conversations with them, and then we're all hanging out, and they're like, "Do you guys actually like each other? Like, you guys pick on each other a lot."
Yeah.
We're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we love each other."
Yeah,
Like,
let somebody else that's not one of us
Yeah.
say something to us. I dare you. Just see
you'll,
what happens.
you'll
Just
find
once.
out real quick. Yeah.
yeah.
But it is, but you know, it's like, well, God, you know, they pick on the Air Force a lot, or the Coast Guard, you know, whatever, and it's like, well, yeah, that's normal, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a, you know, community we want to continue to grow. We you know, when we started the organization, our goal was to hit 10,000 vets in 10 years.
Yep.
Our first year, you know, we're now in our third year, going into our fourth, actually, and it's gone better than we ever would have imagined. And we've actually gotten to the point where it has hit capacity, and it's hit capacity from the perspective of we're having to turn vets away,
Sure.
right? Because we haven't had the financial resources to be able to open up, and
Sure.
thanks to folks like you, we're now adding more trips. Like next year, we're literally doubling our trips.
That's awesome.
Doubling the number of trips.
That is awesome.
That we're going to have, and we honestly think next year it's probably going to be between 1,500 and 2,000 vets
That's
that,
awesome.
that we're going to hit.
Yep.
And we don't want to turn one away. And we've talked with a lot of other potential vet organizations, of people that come up to us at expos or events or whatever, and they'll say, yeah, we're thinking about doing this, and it's my opinion. I think it's our board's opinion, of which Ryan serves on the board, and then Chad and Seth, our other co-founders. Until we go from 22 suicides a day to 0, there's not enough organizations out there to help. And so, it takes a village, so to speak.
Well, it's the same thing I tell customers, especially like a lot of our local customers and whatnot. They're, from a business perspective, and if you transition this into a life perspective, there's more than enough business to go around. Right?
Yeah.
I would gladly welcome, 10 more groups that do things at the capacity and the level of professionalism that Mind Overland does that. Because there's more than enough. When you do it right, there's plenty. And if you build it, they'll come.
They'll come.
You know what I mean?
And we're not going to appeal to every vet. Like every vet may need be at different phases of their life or different parts of their struggle or their journey, right? We've even had some vets that have come and like, I'm good. I just want to hang out with other vets, right? And I can think of one in particular that was he was an operator, and he's like, I'm good. I did some stuff, but I'm good. And then he just got around everybody else and he let that guard down. And he's been able to deal with a lot of, we're not therapists. We don't claim to be therapists. I don't want to be a therapist. But to me, it can be therapeutic to hang out with folks who have been in similar life experiences with you and just be able to have those conversations and just know that like somebody's listening because they've been there, not because they're being paid to be there. And that's not throwing shade at therapists. They're fantastic therapists. But there's just that you at least I don't proverbial you let the guard down a little bit more when you know that people have shared experiences, and that's what we're trying to get after. It's just to have that good time. So man, appreciate you, brother. More than you know.
Thank you.
And thanks again to Jack for having us out here today. Thanks for the install of the tune. And we're excited. I think mine's probably going to be rolling out here pretty soon if it hadn't already.
You gotta go home and get some sleep, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Awesome. All right, man.